How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring another game in the Ohio. Now, I did say I probably wasn't going to post any more Ohio matches, at least not unless it was the 3K, 200K damage, 10 game compilation that I used to do in Massachusetts. But this game definitely deserved its own video. And if you couldn't tell by the title, this is the 400,000 damage match that I did in the Ohio a couple days ago. After stream, I decided to play a little more, and I am definitely glad I did. In this one, I am using Optimus Prime, so it is my secondary build, not using AL New Jersey. I just find secondary builds and Optimus Prime to be a lot more fun than New Jersey. Although, if I did use New Jersey in this match, I do feel like I might have done a little more damage because I'd probably be dev striking everything. And then also all the damage would be coming from my main guns instead of secondaries. So I probably would have also gotten more XP. But then again, you'll see in a little bit, I actually go through 4 heals. Just dealing with the ships on my flank because, well, we have one teammate running away towards B already. And yeah, RDD did not make the best choice when getting into the cap. The only thing right now that was spotted was the Wami. Carno is now spotted. And, well, our Mogador is spotted. Not sure how. I don't know if he's shot or is just, having that bad of detection. Actually, now that I think about it, I think he shot the Iwami as he was pushing in and just got to the island and ended up getting spotted by the Carno. And, yeah, ideally, the DD would just torp and turn away. And I am shooting the Worcester right now because, well, radar cruiser is probably the bigger threat for a destroyer anyway, especially if he can just turn away and run. But the Mogador does not actually run and does basically try to YOLO the Iwami, and in doing so ends up dying. If I knew he was going to try to YOLO the Iwami instead of running away, I probably would have shot the Carno just to give him a better chance of actually escaping. Not that I would dev strike the Carno at all. And well, at this point, the one battleship that spawned with me is gone, and now the DD is gone, so I'm all alone against the Carno, a Worcester that's kiting and now spamming Ichi because we couldn't kill him, and an Iwami that's charging in. So not looking good on this flank, but one of the best things about Ohio is the 40-second cooldown heal, so we can definitely sustain a fairly long time before we do end up dying. The enemy Wami is still charging in. I feel like he's gonna come to try and YOLO me, so at this point I'm just gonna keep reversing because he probably will try to torpedo, and the last thing I want is to eat some Iwami torps. Even though they have bad detection, they do a whole lot of damage, and at this point I need to try and conserve my HP because who knows where that Worcester will go and start farming from Overend Island. The Carno is spotted, but then the Iwami also just comes out at the same time. I do try to focus my secondaries on the Iwami to try and reset before they get the cap, but unfortunately we don't get it. Carno is showing a decent amount of side, so I'm kind of hoping to get some sits there and possibly kill him off to make it easier for myself, but we don't. We actually get 5 overpens, even though he was fairly angled. But now we have an Iwami charging in and also shooting HE, which is kind of a blessing, but at the same time not, because, well, we are angled and HE is just more effective if we're angled. But I do see him trying to turn and torp, so I turn my ship more to the side that he is sailing towards because Iwami torp angles are pretty bad. So in order for him to torp me, if I am sailing in the same direction as him, he will have to show more broadside to get that angle. And he does open up, and we do land a couple of citadels, which is great. But in a situation like this, I feel like New Jersey might have dev struck him because we would have had the accuracy to do it. Plus the Don't You Just Love It, which technically does the same amount as running with scissors, but then drill bits adds another 10%. So it's just something to think about in a situation like this. Luckily, Iwami does not lead the torps very well. I was kind of angling back So we probably thought launching them short probably would have been the thing to do. Iwami does end up dying, and well, we already have a full artillery plotting room, 150,000 damage done, so it's already maxed, even though the game, you know, basically just started. And yeah, we get a great salvo into the Cardinal's bow and just absolutely smash him. We also have a battleship. I don't know if that's the one that left our flank, but there is one that came back. Actually, there's multiple that came back. So I guess one of the battleships, whatever it was that left, did end up eventually coming back. And in a way, it's kind of a blessing that he ran away at the start as well, because, well, if he stayed, he might have been doing more damage to these ships, instead of me basically taking all the damage. Flank dealt with, 178,000 damage done. The last remaining DD on the enemy team gets spotted, and he is very low. Unfortunately, our battleship that shot missed, and now I'm a little worried because a DD that's still alive and no friendly DDs to try and find him or radar cruisers is going to be a very big problem. I just take a blind shot because, well, there's nothing really else to shoot at, hoping he went forward and then maybe I could kill him off, but no such luck. But looking at the map, it is not looking very good, especially when one of our teammates on the other side goes down. It is a 6 versus 4. I have 1 heal remaining after dealing with this flank, so I went through 4. It's not looking very good. We do have one teammate at B, so maybe he's able to find the destroyer before he dies, and if he does, maybe that gives us a chance, because it is just a bunch of battleships remaining and that low HP Worcester that we got 2 citadels on in the beginning. We also have 0 caps and not a lot of points for our team. If our teammates die very quickly in quick succession, then we might actually lose by reaching 0 points. The DD accidentally gets spotted and I just start shooting, hoping to kill him off, and well, luckily all of our battleships had the same plan because everyone just absolutely shot at him, and it really only took 1 shell to finish him off. Now there is a broadside Ohio still in their spawn that's full HP, but the Worcester is the bigger problem. He is on very low HP. If he can find himself an island to start farming from, this game will end very quickly, because cruiser DPM against battleships late game is probably one of the most dangerous things to kind of let stand. I did let our friendly battleship that shot before me have his shells land, and they did miss before I decided to shoot, because if I could have saved my salvo and did more damage to someone else to try and win a match by dealing, you know, more effective damage, would have been a better play. Luckily, or well, unluckily, no one killed him, so I did have to fire another salvo, and now it's actually a 4 versus 4. Their team is starting to get spotted, you know, at C, and we can kind of see them moving in from Charlie spawn. So I do want to put myself into a position where I can make the most use out of the 2 battleships that's basically sailing straight into B. And since those battleships that are pushing towards B from C are coming from their spawn, the best place to be would not be next to our teammates, and instead on the side, creating a crossfire. And as you can see, Ohio pushing in, trying to shoot the ships that are in B, is giving a lot of broadsides. We use our spotter, but look at that dispersion, is absolutely horrendous, even with the max plotting room. Sometimes I feel like the tinfoil hat spotter plane doesn't always work, but we do land 1 sit, so I guess it worked for 1 turret, or sorry, 1 gun. But since Ohio guns reload in 27.5 seconds, I can make 1 more shot on the enemy Ohio, and it does look a lot better, although we do only land 1 citadel again, but we are doing some pretty good damage. We are at 226,000, and actually a lot of their team is full HP from the other side, and a little worried. I am trying to stop here to try and make use of this spot as much as I can, trying to get ships off the board so that they have less firepower, especially since a lot of them are full HP. Our friendly Ohio goes down, but we do finish off one of the enemy Ohios, and there is also a Yamato that was next to that Ohio that I'm currently aiming at. I'm kind of hoping he goes bow into the ships that are in B, and maybe I can come out from the left and possibly Citadel and maybe Dev Strike him. But I was spotted by this Ohio's plane from the other side of this island, so they should know that I am here, and I am just trying to be as patient as I can. Yamato looks like he wants to go towards B, so I'm kind of ready to just push out and get that shot off. But at the last second, just before I come around the island, he does decide to fully turn in, and well, we don't get a full broadside to shoot at. It is now a 2 versus 3, myself and the friendly burger behind me. We just need to take this one ship at a time. I don't want to push out because there are 3 enemy battleships on the other side. And as of right now, I don't think our burger is in that much danger. Schlieffen is kind of in our spawn with an island in between him and our friendly burger. And, well, this Yamato is kind of focused on me since I am the one shooting. Schlieffen shell, one slips through the little gap between that rock and the island and actually citadels me. I was a little surprised because I am angled a little. I mean, I would imagine I'd take some penetration damage, but not a citadel. It is quite unfortunate because that was a decent chunk of HP. But now I see that the Yamato is no longer shooting at me, and the enemy Ohio is rushing down our burger. I tell him to get back because if he starts reversing instead of pushing forward, it gives me a little more time to shoot the Ohio and possibly delete him. Especially because he is in running with scissors, and I have a few stacks of the legendary mod giving me a little more damage. I think I popped my spotter plane a little too early, just in case I could have shot twice. But I wanted to make sure that the first shot I had my plane ready. And yep, that is Ohio down. Now it is a 2 versus 2. Schlieffen is actually in B, pushing towards our friendly burger, and kind of doing the same exact thing that the Ohio did. I'm just going to ignore the Yamato since he is not shooting me, and then just let my secondaries keep shooting at the Yamato. I did set a double permafire on him, so I'm kind of hoping our secondaries can just keep setting him on fire, and then by the time I need to shoot at the bound Yamato, he's low enough where we can take him out easily. Schlieffen charging out broadside just like the Ohio, and we do get a citadel, but we don't kill him off. Our burger is very low. Schlieffen trying to turn and use his torpedoes. At this point, I think our burger is dead, and luckily he does take out the enemy Schlieffen, and now it's a 1 versus 1. I was very lucky that the enemy Ohio and Schlieffen misplayed so horrendously. If that Schlieffen just decided to turn bow in towards me, he would have had his left side torpedoes, which he did try to use at the end anyway, ready for the burger. And then also he would have been angled to me, so I probably wouldn't have done nearly as much damage as I did to him. So luckily we took advantage of those misplays, and now we basically have a 1 versus 1. This enemy Yamato that is bow in, I just have HE loaded because at this point I think setting fires and getting pens on his bow, because he's probably never going to turn broadside, is definitely the better play. When I beached, seeing the shells going for my turrets, I was really worried because Ohio bow is overmatchable by Yamato, and right at where the turrets are is exactly where you can get citadel through the bow. But luckily, the only thing that happened was our turret getting incapacitated, and now we just reverse away. Yamato's being set on fire. We're getting pens with our guns, running with scissors, and also 4 stacks of legendary plotting room. So this HE shell damage is actually pretty nasty, and you can see every time we were hitting him with HE, the chunks were absolutely ridiculous. My secondaries end up setting the Yamato on fire, and I'm just simply reversing away. His last salvo ricocheted off of our casemate, and we do end up finishing off the Yamato with a Witherer, Arsonist, and Kraken, Dreadnought, a bunch of medals in that last second. And just finishing off an absolutely ridiculous match. 408,303 damage, 70 shell hits, 10 citadels, a bunch of medals, 4,422 XP, the highest that I've done in the Ohio, and at this point I'm pretty sure it's the damage and XP record. Kind of insane. But remember at the beginning when I was mentioning what would AIL New Jersey do, I'm kind of thinking New Jersey might have done 420 to 450, somewhere in that range in terms of damage, and XP wise, maybe at 48 or something, because I'm sure that Iwami at the beginning would have been Deathstruck. The Ohio, Carno, everything else would have taken a whole lot more damage from our main guns instead of secondaries. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, something to think about. Kind of interesting, especially because we did get 400 something secondary hits, so a lot of damage from secondaries. But what if those were just from the main guns instead? Um, but yeah, it's pretty much my basic Optimus Prime build. Revocation Protocol, Porcupine, Firefighter, Master Mechanic running with Scissors, and Inspirations Haruna and Hipper. Um, but yeah, this game is my, I guess, personal record for standard battle in terms of damage. And I'm not quite sure about XP. I feel like there's a bunch of destroyers or cruisers that might have done better. But yeah, absolutely insane match. But that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share it with your friends, or leave a comment down below on other ships you want to see in the future. But till next time, aloha.